Hey, how's it going, everyone? Andrew Abaria here. I'm really excited to be relaunching Yoga Masterminds, which is my yoga teacher training program post-COVID. And to kick off this new beginning, I thought it'd be cool to share with you all this new creative project that I've had in mind for a while now. There is this book, Light on Yoga by B.K.S. Iyengar. It's this sort of modern day yoga manual, and most of the book is devoted to postures. So the physical aspect of yoga, and Iyengar is actually doing the postures and then providing commentary on those postures. I thought it'd be cool for me to to pay homage to that and follow that structure. So in this video series, I'm actually going to go through all the different postures that he goes through and then share my own insights into what I've felt in my own body as I've been doing this practice for over 15 years. I really love how Iyengar starts with Tadasana, because my yoga teacher training program actually focuses on Tadasana as the core belief by which all the information disseminated from this nucleus of belief stems from. So in other words, I teach a lot in Yoga Masterminds. There's so much information to cover, so many concepts to cover, but it's always tethered back to this belief about Tadasana, which I'll share with you in a little bit. And again, I love how Iyengar starts with Tadasana, and that this video series can be really an honest reflection of what I believe, because I believe in Yoga Masterminds that all yoga movement stems from this belief about Tadasana. Okay, so without further ado, this is what the quintessential belief is for Yoga Masterminds. That in all of our postures, we're trying to find Tadasana, and in Tadasana, we're trying to find all of the other postures. I'll say this again in a different way. When you're moving from posture to posture, in those shapes, you're always saying cues as the teacher to pull people back to this feeling sense of Tadasana. They literally can't go back to Tadasana because you're in a different shape, but you're trying to get people to feel like they're in Tadasana given the various shapes, right? And when you're in Tadasana, you're trying to pool all the different experiences of all the other myriad poses into Tadasana. That second part, that you're trying to find all the poses in Tadasana is very deeply profound. I won't get into that in this video, but I want to focus on the first half, which is that in all of our postures, we're trying to find Tadasana. Why? Because I think it's going to provide accountability from me to you, so that as I go through this video set and start talking about all the other poses, that I'm not just saying random cues or random thoughts about the pose. That my thoughts about how to do triangle pose, my thoughts about how to do side angle pose, my thoughts about how to do handstand, always bring us back to Tadasana, in the sense that everything that I say, all the different cues, help us to feel Tadasana more clearly and more vibrantly in all these various shapes. So now, the only thing, if you're down with that, the only thing that's left is, what is Tadasana, right? Because if we're trying to find Tadasana in all these different shapes, what is Tadasana? So Tadasana, I think, can be explained intellectually, but also through a more like pragmatic, realistic thing where you can feel it, right? So I'll start with the intellectual analysis, right? Tadasana, when you're doing Tadasana, it's kind of like when you are in this Vitruvian man shape, right? As often referenced by Leonardo da Vinci. I think there's a lot of correlation between the two. Tadasana, Vitruvian man. In that shape, you're equally grounded and equally lifted. You're equally expansive and equally contracted. You're equally strong and you're equally flexible. Now, that's pretty easy to kind of just intellectualize, right? There's probably not that much confusion about it just on the level of the mind, but I think a deeper understanding of this is when you feel it in your body. And I think this example, this real life example, helps me to feel it the most, and hopefully it'll help you to feel what Tadasana feels like really well. I find that I feel Tadasana really strongly when I'm in New York, a place like New York City, and I'm on the subway, and I walk in the subway car and there's nowhere for me to hold. There's like no rail because it's like super crowded. And then I have to like brace myself for the ride. So in that ride, I am in a position where I'm grounded, but I'm lifted. And that's why I feel the sense of like this subtle springy feeling, right? Because I need to feel at any moment I can ground myself, at any moment I could lift up. The same goes for the lateral outward movement. I'm expansive, but I'm also contracted, right? I'm not just like wishy-washy out to the side, but I'm not so congested and pulled into the center that there's not enough give from left to right. When I'm in that subway car, I feel equally strong and equally flexible. If you can imagine what that feels like for yourself, that is what the feeling of Tadasana is. And that's what I want you to hold me accountable to in the future videos. So as I'm explaining tweaks and different things you can do, better ways of practicing tree pose or warrior one or warrior three, that you're holding me accountable to say, hey, is what Andrew is explaining in this video congruent, consistent with this idea that in all poses we want to find Tadasana. So I'm super excited to be launching this new video series and to start out with this moment of accountability so that this video series is actually meaningful and relevant and helpful to you. Because I don't think it would be helpful if I was just some guy saying random things about each of the poses. If you believe in this methodology that I teach in Yoga Masterminds, it's a way for you to double check what I'm saying in the videos and for you to try it out for yourself. And I think just even having that framework of accountability, it helps us to more critically think and feel through this set of poses that I'm about to launch into. So thanks so much you guys for watching. Check out the new YouTube channel that I'll be posting these videos on as well. And I'm excited that you can join me for this new voyage. I'll see you in the next video. I think the next pose is tree pose. See you then.